Exposing the truth. How Trump's executive order is ruining college sports. Imagine a world where college sports, a beloved American institution, are on the brink of collapse. This dire scenario is not just a distant possibility, but a harsh reality that threatens the very fabric of our athletic landscape. But here's where it gets interesting. President Donald J. Trump has taken bold action to save college sports, signing an executive order that aims to protect student athletes, preserve collegiate athletic scholarships, and safeguard the unique opportunities that college sports provide. The order is a comprehensive measure that tackles several critical issues, including the preservation of opportunities for scholarships and collegiate athletic competition in women's and non-revenue sports, the prohibition of third-party pay-for-play payments to collegiate athletes, and the implementation of revenue sharing between universities and collegiate athletes in a manner that protects women's and non-revenue sports. But what's really at stake here? The answer lies in the fact that college sports are not just about entertainment. They play a critical role in fostering leadership, education, and community pride. With over 500,000 student athletes receiving nearly $4 billion in scholarships annually, college sports are a launching pad for America's future leaders, driving local economies and shaping national culture. And this is the part most people miss. The collegiate athletic system has produced 75% of the 2024 U.S. Olympic team and has yielded countless business and civic leaders. However, recent litigation has created a chaotic environment that threatens the financial and structural viability of college athletics. Ongoing lawsuits seek to dismantle the foundational elements of college sports, such as the distinction between student athletes and professional employees, and the limits on how many seasons student athletes can play. The lack of enforceable rules has turned legitimate third-party NIL opportunities into pay-for-play bidding wars amongst university boosters, with some universities and their outside supporters reportedly spending over $50 million per year on fielding rosters. This dynamic not only reduces competition and parity, but also creates an oligarchy of teams that can buy the best players. Over 30 states have passed conflicting NIL laws, leading to a race to the bottom that risks exploiting student athletes and creating competitive imbalances among universities. Without federal action, ongoing lawsuits, and a patchwork of state NIL laws risk eroding the opportunities provided by collegiate sports. So what's the way forward? President Trump's executive order is a crucial step in restoring order and promoting a legacy of athletic excellence. By building on his long-standing commitment to showcasing American greatness through sports, the order ensures that college sports continue to thrive and provide opportunities for student athletes to excel. But here's the question. Will this executive order be enough to save college sports, or are there more challenges on the horizon? We want to hear from you. Do you think President Trump's executive order is a step in the right direction? Or are there other solutions that need to be explored? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Saving college sports. Preserving an American institution. Imagine a future where college sports, a cornerstone of American culture and a breeding ground for future leaders, cease to exist. It's a bleak prospect, but one that's becoming increasingly likely if we don't take action to protect these institutions. College sports are more than just games. They provide life-changing educational and leadership development opportunities to over 500,000 student athletes, with almost $4 billion in scholarships awarded each year. But here's where it gets controversial. The current system is under threat from waves of litigation that have eliminated limits on athlete compensation, pay-for-play recruiting inducements, and transfers between universities. This has created a Wild West scenario where university donors engage in bidding wars for the best players, with some athletes receiving over $50 million per year. But what about the non-revenue sports, like women's soccer or track and field? They're the ones that will suffer the most if we don't find a way to balance the system. And this is the part most people miss. The imperative that university donors must devote ever-escalating resources to compete in revenue-generating sports, like football and basketball, is siphoning away the resources necessary to support non-revenue sports. It's a vicious cycle that threatens the very existence of college sports as we know it. So what's the solution? A national solution is urgently needed to prevent this situation from deteriorating beyond repair. We need to find a way to protect non-revenue sports and ensure that college athletes are compensated fairly without creating an oligarchy of teams that can simply buy the best players. One possible solution is to implement guardrails that prevent third-party pay-for-play payments and ensure that revenue sharing is designed to preserve or expand scholarships and collegiate athletic opportunities in women's and non-revenue sports. But here's the question. Can we really trust universities to self-regulate? Or do we need government intervention to ensure that the system is fair and balanced? The answer is not clear-cut, and it's a debate that's sure to spark controversy. On one hand, universities have a vested interest in maintaining a fair and balanced system, as it's in their best interest to attract top talent and maintain a competitive edge. On the other hand, the current system is clearly broken, and some form of government intervention may be necessary to prevent the exploitation of student athletes and ensure that non-revenue sports are protected. So we ask you, what do you think is the best way to save college sports? Should we prioritize government intervention, or do we trust universities to self-regulate? Let us know in the comments. The fate of college sports hangs in the balance, and it's up to us to ensure that these institutions continue to thrive for generations to come. The president has taken a step in the right direction by issuing an executive order aimed at protecting and expanding women's and non-revenue sports. But it's just the beginning. We need to continue the conversation and find a solution that works for everyone involved. The future of college sports depends on Trump's executive order, a game changer for college sports. In a bold move to address the escalating influence of money in college sports, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order aimed at curbing what he describes as chaotic third-party pay-for-play arrangements involving college athletes. This action comes amidst a backdrop of rapid commercialization, particularly in high-profile sports like football and men's basketball, where name, image, and likeness NIL deals have become a significant factor in recruiting top talent. The heart of the executive order lies in its directive to educational institutions to eliminate any third-party payments used as incentives to recruit athletes. However, it allows for fair market compensation for legitimate services such as endorsements. This nuanced approach seeks to balance the financial interests of athletes with the integrity of college sports. One of the order's key objectives is to protect the landscape of women's and non-revenue sports. It mandates athletic departments to maintain and in some cases expand scholarship opportunities and roster spots in these programs. For schools with over $125 million in athletic revenue, there's an encouragement to increase investment in non-revenue sports starting from the 2025-2026 academic year. The executive order also highlights the growing disparities within college sports, exacerbated by the patchwork of state-level NIL laws. With over 30 states enacting such laws, the order warns of an emerging oligarchy where wealthier programs and outbid others for top athletes. This situation not only threatens the competitive balance, but also risks diverting resources from Olympic and educational sports. The current state of affairs, without proper guardrails, risks the very existence of many college sports as we know them. The order states, in addition to addressing NIL issues, the order calls for various federal agencies to develop enforcement plans, clarify the employment status of student athletes, and use Title IX to protect the viability of college athletics. It also advocates for collaboration with Congress and state governments to establish a cohesive national framework. The significance of college athletics in the U.S. Olympic success is underscored in the order, noting that 75% of the 2024 Olympic team were current or former collegiate athletes. Preserving a broad base of non-revenue sports is seen as crucial for maintaining America's Olympic dominance. While the executive order sets forth comprehensive federal priorities, the practical implementation remains to be seen, especially in the absence of new legislation. Nonetheless, the White House views this move as essential to restore fairness and stability to a system that it perceives is drifting towards professionalization. College sports are not and should not be professional sports, the order declares. A national solution is urgently needed before it's too late. This executive order marks a significant step in the ongoing debate over the role of money in college sports and sets the stage for further discussions and potential legislative actions.